Welcome to another deep dive. Today we are going to the Whistle Stop Café with, well, fried green tomatoes.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah,
It's a classic, a little drama, a little comedy, definitely some Southern charm.
a little bit of everything.
It's just a good time. You know it's based on a novel, right?
It is.
Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Café by Fanny Flagg.
I did not know that. I have to check that out.
Oh, you should. Adds a whole other layer.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of experiencing this gem, the film introduces us to Evelyn.
Oh, Evelyn. Poor Evelyn.
Yeah. Stuck in a bit of a rut, you could say.
Yeah, she is going through it, to say the least. The marriage is stale. Life feels meaningless.
Not really living, just kind of existing.
And she's just craving something more, something to shake things up.
I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of being lost, of wondering, is this all there is? It's universal. It's what makes Evelyn such a relatable character right from the start.
Then she meets Ninny, this sweet older woman at a nursing home.
Ninny.
And their connection becomes this catalyst for Evelyn's journey of self-discovery.
It's like Ninny has this magic, you know?
She does.
This way of captivating you with her stories about Idgie and Ruth.
Yeah, these women from a totally different time and place, their lives become this mirror reflecting back on Evelyn's own.
Exactly. And the way the film jumps between the present with Evelyn and Ninny and the past with Idgie and Ruth, it's brilliant. It keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Okay, so let's talk about Idgie and Ruth,
Yeah.
because their relationship is, well,
Complicated.
yeah, complicated is one way to put it. Definitely unconventional.
Oh, for sure. Idgie, she's this free spirit, you know? A total rebel, doesn't care what anyone thinks. And Ruth, she's more reserved, more traditional, but there's a strength in her quietness.
They couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
But their bond is undeniable. It defies all expectations, especially considering the time and place.
The South in the early 20th century. Yeah, not exactly known for its acceptance of, well, anything outside the norm.
And yet there they are, forging this incredible connection that transcends societal norms. It really makes you question what society deems acceptable and what truly matters in human connection.
It's a beautiful thing to witness.
And where does this all take place? The Whistle Stop Café, a place that's so much more than just a restaurant.
It's the heart of their community. It's a symbol of resilience, of defying prejudice.
You see this incredible mix of people coming together. Black, white, rich, poor, all sharing meals, sharing stories, sharing life.
Which was incredibly bold for the time period depicted in the film. It really makes you think about the role of spaces like the Whistle Stop Café in fostering connections and challenging social norms.
And speaking of challenging norms, can we talk about the female empowerment in this film?
Oh my goodness, yes. Everywhere you look, these women are breaking down barriers and forging their own paths. Idgie standing up to injustice, Ruth finding her voice, and Evelyn, well,
Evelyn's transformation is incredible.
it really is. She goes from this meek, unhappy housewife to a woman who embraces her strength and takes control of her life. And it's all thanks to the inspiration she finds in Ninny's stories about Idgie and Ruth.
It's a powerful message about the power of finding your voice and living authentically. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? There's this underlying current of Southern Gothic that adds a layer of darkness and complexity.
Absolutely. The film doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of the time. You see glimpses of racism, domestic abuse, and there's even this murder mystery that unfolds.
It keeps you on your toes, for sure. But what's remarkable is how the film manages to balance those darker elements with moments of humor and warmth.
Exactly. Like life itself, right? It's a mix of light and shadow, joy and sorrow. And I think that's what makes Fried Green Tomatoes so compelling. It captures the full spectrum of human experience.
And it does so with a lot of heart. You laugh, you cry, you feel everything right alongside these characters. You can't help but get invested in their stories.
And that's the mark of a truly great film. It makes you feel something. It stays with you long after the credits roll.
Okay, so we've talked about the captivating storylines, the heartwarming relationships, and the delicious food. But what about the people who brought these characters to life? The actors who poured their hearts and souls into these roles?
Oh, the performances in this film are absolutely phenomenal. We have to talk about them. And the director, John Avnet, he really captured the essence of the story.
Yes. Let's dive into the incredible talent that brought Fried Green Tomatoes to the screen.
Oh, where do we even begin? There are so many standout performances in this film.
Let's start with Kathy Bates as Evelyn. She just embodies that feeling of being stuck, yearning for more.
Oh, she's brilliant.
She is. You can practically see her transforming right there on screen. as she gets swept up in Ninny's stories.
You see the doubt, the fear, and then the spark of determination. Bates is a master of conveying those subtle emotional shifts. It's a beautiful, relatable performance.
And then you have the iconic Jessica Tandy as Ninny,
Oh, Ninny.
the heart and soul of the film. She's just radiant, this wise, gentle storyteller who draws you in with every word.
Tandy brings such depth to the role. Ninny's not just a sweet old lady. She's lived a full life. She's seen it all. And she carries all that wisdom with her. It's in her eyes and her smile and every story she tells.
She's the kind of character you just want to sit down with and have a cup of tea and just listen to her stories for hours.
Absolutely. And let's not forget Mary Stuart Masterson as Idgie. Pure energy.
Oh, she's a force of nature. So full of life, so rebellious, so unapologetically herself.
And Mary Louise Parker as Ruth. She brings such grace and quiet strength to the role. The chemistry between those two is palpable.
You really believe in their connection, their love for each other.
It's a complex, unconventional relationship, but they portray it with such nuance and sensitivity. You see the playfulness, the passion, the fierce protectiveness, and the way their bond evolves throughout the film. It just feels so real, so authentic.
And we can't talk about the performances without mentioning Cicely Tyson as Sipsy, the moral compass of the story. She brings such a powerful presence to the screen. A woman who has endured so much hardship, yet she remains strong, dignified, and full of love.
Tyson is incredible. Sipsy is the backbone of that cafe, you know? Her presence just radiates warmth and stability.
It's truly a remarkable ensemble cast. Each actor brings something unique and special to their role.
Absolutely. And they're all brought together by the masterful direction of John Avnet.
Yes, he creates this rich, immersive world that just transports you to the South.
The sights, the sounds, the atmosphere, you can practically feel the humidity and smell the sweet tea.
And the food, don't forget the food, those fried green tomatoes look absolutely mouth-watering.
Oh my gosh, yes. The food is practically a character in itself. It's comfort, it's tradition, it's Southern hospitality at its finest.
But Avnet doesn't just focus on the charming aspects of the story. He also tackles the tougher, more sensitive subjects with a lot of care and nuance.
That's right. Those scenes dealing with racism and domestic violence are powerful and unflinching.
He could have easily glossed over those issues, but he doesn't. He confronts them head-on, adding depth and complexity to the film.
And I think that's what makes this film so enduring. It balances those heartwarming, feel-good moments with these heavier, thought-provoking themes. It's like life. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Exactly. You've got to have the sweet with the savory, the laughter with the tears. It's what makes the experience richer, more meaningful.
And Fried Green Tomatoes does an incredible job of capturing those contrasting flavors. You connect with these characters on such a deep level. You laugh with them, you cry with them, you root for them.
It's a story that stays with you. And it's been over 30 years since it was released, but it still resonates with audiences today. Why do you think that is?
Because it taps into these universal themes that are timeless. Friendship, love, loss, resilience, the importance of finding your voice and your place in the world. These are things that everyone can relate to, regardless of their background or experiences.
It's a story about human connection, about finding strength in each other, even in the face of hardship and adversity. And sometimes it's about finding comfort and joy in the simplest things, like a plate of fried green tomatoes shared with good friends.
So well said.
We've talked about the heartwarming friendships, the unforgettable characters, the powerful performances, and the director's masterful touch. But there's one element we haven't touched on yet, one that adds another layer of complexity to the story. The film's portrayal of race relations in the South. It's a delicate subject.
It is, and it's something that we need to discuss. Because understanding how the film navigates those complex issues is crucial to appreciating its full impact.
All right, so let's take a breath and dive into this important conversation. It's easy to get swept away in the charm and humor of Fried Green Tomatoes.
Oh, absolutely.
But like we mentioned, there's a deeper layer to this story. It doesn't shy away from the realities of race relations in the South.
Right, and for a film set in the early 20th century, during the Jim Crow era, that's a pretty bold move.
Especially considering it was released in the early 90s.
Exactly. But I think that's one of the reasons it resonates so deeply. It tackles those complex issues head on.
Yeah, like the relationship between Ruth and Sipsy, a white woman and a black woman forming this incredibly strong bond. They're more than friends, they're family.
And Sipsy helps raise Ruth's son. That's a powerful statement.
It is. But, it's important to acknowledge the historical context.
Oh, absolutely. During that time period, such relationships were not only uncommon, they could be downright dangerous.
The film doesn't ignore that. It portrays those realities while also showing us the possibility of love and understanding overcoming those barriers.
Right. It's a nuanced portrayal. It shows us that even in the midst of such deeply ingrained prejudice, human connection can still thrive.
And it's not just about Ruth and Sipsy. The film features a variety of Black characters who are fully realized individuals, not just stereotypes.
Like Big George, the barbecue cook.
Yes, he's so much more than just a cook. He's respected by both the Black and white communities. He's a skilled artisan, a businessman, a pillar of the community.
And that's important because for so long, Hollywood films often relegated Black characters to the sidelines or portrayed them in very limited stereotypical ways.
Fried Green Tomatoes challenges those conventions. It gives these characters depth and agency, allowing them to be seen as complex human beings with their own dreams, struggles, and triumphs.
But the film doesn't shy away from the darker side of things either. That scene with the Ku Klux Klan riding through town.
Oh, it's chilling.
It is. It's a stark reminder of the very real threat of violence and terror that Black communities faced in the South.
And the film doesn't sugarcoat it. It forces you to confront those harsh realities, to remember that even in a seemingly idyllic setting like the Whistle Stop Café, those dangers were always present.
And then you have the character of Frank Bennett, Ruth's abusive husband.
He represents the worst aspects of that time period: the violence, the bigotry, the desire to control and dominate.
He embodies the systems of power that perpetuated both racial and gender inequality.
His character adds another layer to the film's exploration of prejudice and injustice. It makes you think about the ways those systems intersected and the harm they inflicted.
Absolutely. And it's those layers, those complexities that make Fried Green Tomatoes such a powerful and enduring film. It's not afraid to go to those dark places, to confront those uncomfortable truths.
But it also offers hope. It shows us the possibility of connection, resilience, and the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity.
It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's always the potential for love, understanding, and positive change.
And it does all of this with a generous helping of Southern charm, humor, and heart.
It's a truly special film.
So if you haven't seen Fried Green Tomatoes, I can't recommend it enough. It's a heartwarming, thought-provoking, and ultimately uplifting experience.
And even if you have seen it, it's worth revisiting. You might be surprised at what you discover.
And who knows, you might even find yourself craving some delicious Southern cooking afterwards.
Now, we want to hear from you. What did you think of Fried Green Tomatoes? What resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the movies we love. Until next time, happy watching.